Well, here is what we are going to be working on or working with in this video. We have ourselves here an Oxylance torch. I got this here the other day. I've been wanting one of these for quite a while. Seems like every time we do the job, it's like I've got to get one, and then I don't end up getting one, and then we get on to the next job, and so on and so forth. If you recall, when I cut that pin out of that 2-point hitch arm or the pull arm on that 8360, we had to reach in with the torch, and it got kind of goofy, and everybody had said, oh, you need an Oxylance. Well, I know, I need one. So at any rate, I reached out to a couple of the area welding supply places in our area, and nobody stocked one. I got a hold of this company. I called them up. They do not sell to end users. But they did say that there was a welding supply place down near New York City that had these in stock, and I was able to get one from them. They shipped it to me here the other day, and that's what we are going to be using on truck 9 here to remove the tail hinge pins. Now, we ended up taking the mud flaps off, and we've got everything out of the way to get these tail hinge pins out. There's a grease zerk. There's actually grease coming out of that pin right now. I can tell you they're not going to move. There was 1/2-inch bolts that went down through the other side of the pin to hold the pin into the actual hinge assembly itself. So we're going to get that Oxylance set up. We're going to blow a hole in the center of that pin from one side all the way to the other. And the idea is that pin's going to shrink and it's going to come right out. Or it will at least give us room to be able to blow through it with a torch, or we can just hit it again with that Oxylance. So we'll go ahead and get this out of the box, get it set up, and we'll start working with it. This video is just going to be on this torch. We're not going to jump around the shop at all. It's just going to be on this torch here. So we'll get it out of the box, we'll get it set up, and we'll get it put to use here. Alright, as you can see, it comes with its own toolbox. We need to study the instructions because I have never used one of these before. We're going to need a bottle of compressed oxygen, or a regular oxygen bottle that we would use on the torches, so we'll have to get that set up. Then we need some kind of an ignition source here from, I believe, a 12-volt battery, and some means of lighting this torch. We've got rods that came with this, and again, I need to study these instructions so that we use it correctly. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to touch up on a few things here so that we know how to use this thing correctly, but it's got a nice box to put everything back into for storage. Alright, so this is the electrode that I already used. I burned about that much off of it. Very simple.
Those hollow on the inside?
Yeah, hollow on the inside. You got to make sure you get the right end into the actual torch handle itself. There is like a flared tip that they give me for the 1/4 inch, and then a different one, slightly larger one for the 3/8. We got this little rubber O-ring. We're going to set that down in. Then we're going to push our collet up over. Boy, it doesn't want to go on there. I don't want to lose that rubber piece. There. Push that on there. Got our gland nut down over the top of it. So we got that ready. I got to get my gloves on here. Got our torch or our oxygen tank on. We're running about 55 psi or so off of that. We'll see how that does it for us. We'll burn another hole in this 1.5" flat bar. This does throw a fair amount of sparks.
Now, once you pop that on, do you have to hold the trigger the whole time?
You gotta hold the trigger. Now, it's a very good question, Sarge. Yeah, you have to hold the trigger the whole time. If you don't hold it, as soon as you let off the trigger, you gotta hit the ignition source. Which all that's doing is it's running power through the gun, and then you're just circuiting the end of the lance. And then you get your spark to start, and then the oxygen just takes it from there.
You know what that lance is made of?
I
Copper
don't.
or something?
I don't
It's gotta
know
be something
what
that
this
burns,
is.
I'd imagine.
Alright, so I'm going to hit my handle. I'm going to ignite down here. Then I'm going to blow a hole, another hole in that 1.5". So hit the handle. Boom.
Sparklers.
Went right through an 1.5" of mild steel. So we'll ignite again, and now I'm going to push it right through that pin. I gotta switch electrodes already. We might be running a little too much on the oxygen. I gotta move that ignition source a little closer as well. It's too far away, so we'll have to move that over. It's hard to say how far in we are. Well, you know, we're gonna know a little more information.
Are these rods expensive?
I don't know how much they are. They give me a package of each. I can stick this in there and see. There you go.
That's it?
We're only in about 3 inches. Let's increase this pressure, or wrong handle, Nate. What are we up to there? 80? Did you get a Sparky on that one?
Yeah.
Boy, we're going through some material here. Well, it's got to be almost there. I should get a piece of sheet metal and put down on this floor. There's something on the bench there.
Concrete.
Put these acetone racks over there.
Other end. Sorry.
Oh, you can hear that metal shrinking. Ooh. Good stuff. Now I wonder if that's enough heat in that molten material right there to start that. No? Boy, we're not through yet? No. Wow. It's taking a lot of stuff. How many are we down to, Nathan?
5 left.
5 left?
This is 6.
Oh, right in.
Yeah, these are the.
Well, that's aluminum there. We don't want aluminum.
That's the hollow end.
Nothing yet. These ones are a little more bigger. Oh, wait a minute. Is this not a... Are the ends all like that? Alright, so what we're running with now is the 3/8. Maybe these will be a little faster. Boy, that'll walk the dog. Wow. That's a hole. I don't know how far in we went, but I'm going to tell you what, that was a little hotter. My goodness. These ones are a little different. You know what else doesn't help is there's a little grease in that hole. Ooh, it melted. Yeah, melted. I thought it melted that rubber O-ring for a minute. But I'm going to stuff this in the hole. See how deep we are. Well, we're about halfway, so that's not too bad.
You might, use the bigger rods for a bigger.
Yeah. went too fast on that one, maybe.
Almost looks like just a little bit of that rod would be right through.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick this,
Does your screen normally go off, Andy?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's got a red dot blinking. Well, now we're shorter, but it must have melted back around it. That's almost, look at the size of the hole that's left.
That's nice.
Yeah, the whole pin.
That hole, yeah, just about the whole thing. Yeah, there ain't much left. And there we are through. All right, we made it all the way through. We have 2, 4, 6, 8 of them left. I think we used 6 if my math was correctly.
No.
We used 4?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, there's only 12 of them.
12 that we started with. Okay. So we used 4 3/8 on this side. The 3/8 one did a better job. And if you look, that hole is about 1 inch in diameter. So we'll let that cool and then we'll pound them out here in a minute. Maybe this other side will go right now. It's been a little bit. Christian gonna grab the camera. And what did we use for oxygen here? We used a little more than 1/4, maybe not quite 3/8 of a bottle of oxygen on that. That pin did move.
Yeah.
That's moving. Okay, so we are ready to knock these pins out. They have cooled down to the point where they should move. I did have a chance to call the Oxylance company and I said, hey, we're cutting pins out of a tail hinge that are 10.5 inches long. And I went through all of the 1/4 inch rods However, when I used the 3/8 rods, I went through 3 or 4. And they asked me how I was doing it. I said I was pushing right in. Well, apparently that's not how to do it. What you want to do is go in real slow and let that molten material blow back out of the hole. We were going in real fast because I didn't want to wear out that tip. When we went from the striker to cutting the pin, that's burning part of that tip back. So they said the correct way to do it is to go into the metal slowly and let that blow all that molten material back. What was happening is going too fast, it was melting our tip back fast. That's why the 3/8 tip worked better, because the 3/8 was heating up faster. Although we were going about the same speed, it blew the material back quicker. Now you can see the molten material, the center of the pins on the floor. So what we're going to do now is we're going to spray a little lubricant on there, and we're just going to very carefully pound those pins out. The reason why this process will work better than heating that up with a torch, if you heat this up with a torch, in order to get the pin to be removed, you actually have to heat up the outside area of the pin. You more or less want the pin to stay at its same shape. You heat up the outside, that increases that material a little bit, lets that stretch out a little bit, and then that'll most of the time allow you to get something removed. You heat up the outside part so that that'll stretch. However, when that cools down, that's going to constrict some. So by heating that up, you're going to have to heat everything up in order to get that to remove. The tolerances on something like this aren't as critical as, say, an excavator pin or something like that. If you heat up the bore on an excavator, that might shrink enough to where the new pin won't even be able to be put in. So by using this method, you're able to just heat up the pin, remove the center of it, and then that's going to cool, and it's going to actually get slightly smaller to allow you to take that out. Now we can go into that with a torch and cut right through and remove more of that material out of the center of that pin so that it can fall back in on itself, but I'm fairly convinced that these pins are just going to start moving right now. Say if that was a 1-inch pin, we would probably have trouble removing it with this 10 or 12 pound sledgehammer. However, that pin there is a 2.5-inch pin, and it would take well over probably 200 ton of force to actually remove that. Don't you think so, Nate?
Probably.
A couple 300 ton of force. Yeah, somewhere around there. That's not an over-exaggeration either, but if something is frozen in place, it takes a lot of force to get it removed, and you're not going to knock it out with just a little Mickey Mouse hammer. So let's spray this down with some penetrating oil and knock these out and see how successful that is by removing the center. Okay, so we have those pins removed. That Oxylance torch worked successfully to get them out. This one on this right-hand side had a little more of a hole in it down through the center of it than did the one that was on the left. Now where it's shinier, that's where the pin wasn't moving. Where it's ate out in the center, that's where the box was pivoting on the pin itself. This right-hand side was a little more has a little more wear to it than the left-hand side does. So I'll put a link in the description on what this actual tool is, and that is going to work very nicely here to do various jobs like this here. One other job that Jared had, and it would have worked good on that, is on this 8110. We've got a hydraulic cylinder on the, well, it's a 3-point hitch lift cylinder. We didn't realize this cylinder had a bad spot in the chrome until we lifted it up after we painted it. Now, had we not been able to get this top pin out, we could have used that lance to get in here to chew up this pin, and then he would have been able to get it out. Yeah, we're going to have to do a little more painting there. So, with that being said, that is going to do it for this one. We did learn a few things with this, but had we used it correctly off of the start, maybe we wouldn't have went through so many consumables. So with that being said, that is going to do it for this one. We're going to work on getting this box ready to come off the rest of the way. I wanted to keep stuff separate so that this was just going to be a Oxylance video all by itself here. So, SureCut Oxylance. Take it easy, folks. We will catch you at the next one. Another thing, too, you wouldn't have to buy the kit that has the regulator. If you have a set of torches, you could just hook right into the regulator that's already on your oxygen tank. But I got the kit that comes with the regulator. So take it easy, folks. We will catch you at the next one.